This video is going to walk you through some of the basic features of the free Windows Live Movie Maker software. Now, Windows Live Movie Maker is the newer version of Windows Movie Maker. So depending upon what version of Windows operating system you're working with would depend on if it says Windows Live Movie Maker or Windows Movie Maker. Now, whenever you go to download the Windows Live Movie Maker, assuming you don't have it on your computer already, what will happen is you'll end up downloading what's called Windows Essentials, which includes a couple of different programs. Windows Live Movie Maker, Windows Live Messenger, Windows Live Mail, and I think there's a photo gallery thing in there too. We'll cover that here in just a second. Now, as the name implies, this is a Windows program. So if you are using a Mac, then you can still use this if your computer is configured to use Windows programs. Now let's head on over to our favorite search engine here and just type in up here Windows Live Movie Maker, and this is of course if you don't have it already installed on your computer, and then just select usually the top one that pops up here. That'll take us to the Microsoft website, and if Movie Maker does not pop up right here, then go ahead and do a search here for Movie Maker. And that's the download link that will download what I was talking about, the Windows Essentials. And if you have any questions that are not answered in this video, you've got an entire how-to section here, as well as the all-important support section here. So be sure and check those out as well. But let's go ahead and assume that you've got it downloaded, installed, and opened up. And this is the main interface of the Windows Live Movie Maker. Right here is your project area or your workspace. This is where you're going to import all of your videos and photos and audio files, and then rearrange them, edit them however you want, throw in the transitions, and then once you get everything set up the way you like it, then you go ahead and save movie as, and then the output is your finished product. So that's it in a nutshell. But let's go ahead and walk through the process here just to show you a little bit about what all you can do. Well, let's go ahead and put in some files here and go through some of the options that you have available for you. Now you can input the files by clicking this link here, clicking this link here, or by just dragging and dropping the files in there. So I'm going to go ahead and select that top item, hold the shift key down on my keyboard and select the bottom one, but I'm going to deselect the audio file here just for the time being. Left click, hold and drag all these guys into the work area, and there we go. Now that's that video file here. Just kind of scrub through that. That's pretty cool, pretty puppy. But just wanted to demonstrate that you can import video files as well as still images. This Windows Live Movie Maker does come in very handy if, for example, you have the rights to edit someone else's video. You can bring in that particular video and add a title screen as well as a closing or a credits screen, which gives the video viewers a call to action, or should anyway. And throughout that particular video, you can slice and dice. You can add additional images, transitions, the whole 9 yards. And by the time you're done, the idea behind that is to have that edited, finished video product not looking at all like the original. Matter of fact, you could even eliminate the audio, import your own audio, and then render that video out as having a new voiceover as well as all the edits that you did to that particular video. Now to edit out the audio, all you have to do is select the video, come up here to edit, select the video volume, put it all the way down to the bottom there, and now that video in its original state does not have audio. So then you can just import your own audio by clicking this guy right here. If they provide transcriptions to the original video, then you can just record your own voice or have it outsourced and then import that new audio file right in here, sync it up with the new video with your new transitions and whatnot, and then boom, you've got a brand new video that you didn't have to spend days and days and days recording. All you had to do is spend a little bit of time doing the editing. Great idea. Okay, enough about the editing of the video. Let's go and get rid of this guy here. I also imported a title screen and a credit screen. Now this credit screen here, which comes at the end of the video, this should have a call to action telling the viewer of the video to do something. Now that they've seen the video, do something. Click on this link, check out my offer, whatever. Now this is something that I created in Photoshop. The thing about Windows Live Movie Maker is you don't need to do that. As a matter of fact, we can get rid of these guys altogether because we can come right up here and click on credits, and it automatically puts a new image at the end of your video sequence, which by the way, you can select these guys and move them around to whatever area you want. You just click on it, it puts that blue border around it, then you just left click, hold, and drag it to wherever you want it. But with the credits, you can just go ahead and select that again. You can just double click on that icon there. This opens up. You've got all kinds of formatting options up here, and the same holds true with the title, but we'll get to that here in just a second. But here's where you would put the call to action, and you've got a lot of different animations up here that you can play with. As you can see, it's kind of scrolling through right here. Gives you an idea as to what it will look like in the end result. Pretty cool stuff. And got this drop down arrow over here to the right that shows a lot more options for you to work with. Really adds that professional touch to your video. Likewise with the credits. Come on back home here. I'm sorry, I meant the title. Click on title and it automatically puts the title screen at the beginning of your video elements. And again, you've got all these text formatting options where you can change the text color, and here's where you can change the background color. Let's try a nice blue there. And like with the credits, you've got these animations you can add. Really adds that professional flair to the opening of your video. Speaking of animations, you can also add animations to your video clips. You can just select where you want it to begin, and it gives you the preview right here, kind of like a nice transition from one screen to the next. And with the drop down arrow here, you've got many more to choose from. And you've got the zoom and pan options over here, where if you've got a certain image that you've imported that you want it to pan in or zoom in, or any other transition that's available here, then you can do that by selecting the proper one. And if you want to add a little extra pizzazz, you've got these visual effects you can do. And under project, you can decide whether you want it widescreen, which is a 16:9, or a standard, which is a 4:3. The widescreen is what I prefer and what you'll see more times than not nowadays, like for example on YouTube, but that just depends on what you're working with here. Now when we get our video all set the way that we want it, the opening title screen, the closing credits screen, and all the elements and animations and transitions the way we want them, come on back here to home, and you either go here and click on Save Project As. That way this is going to be saved, so if you want you can always come back later and add or change the elements within this particular project. I'd suggest doing that anyway. Or you can publish the movie to one of these already installed items, be it YouTube or Facebook or SkyDrive, Windows Live Groups, or Flickr. You can also go and add additional plugins and manage your services. This is where you go to kind of set things up for like your YouTube account or your Facebook account. Or you can just save it to your computer through one of these presets. And down here at the bottom you've got custom settings, and you can even create your own custom settings here. So let's go ahead and try this guy here, since that's the setting we have. Click on Save, and of course depending upon how big your video is would depend on how long it's going to take. And this one's not too big, so it didn't take long at all. Now there's a lot more to Windows Live Movie Maker than what we covered in this video, like adding particular themes, taking a snapshot of the preview window, adding a webcam video, and some of those presets we looked at earlier. But if you have questions about any of that stuff, hit up that how-to section on the Microsoft Movie Maker page I showed you at the beginning of this video, and most all of your questions should be answered there. If not, you got that support section. That's going to bring us to the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching.